I think my first skis were when I was probably about 8 or 10 years old. They were about 4 feet long and used to ski on all the local hills around Calgary, and that was it. It, uh, it probably wasn't until, I got up into high school age and that I started getting into better equipment and coming up to Banff and that type of thing. When my kids were young and that, of course, being a dad, I didn't do much skiing. I was home more often, and then as my kids grew up, they started to like skiing, and so then at that time we started Sunshine in Lake Louise. But when I was younger and before my kids grew up, it was pretty well always Norquay. Yeah. Matter of fact, I used to leave my skis in Banff, and there used to be the Pearl Laundry in Banff, and my dad was a good friend of the people that ran that, and so my skis were always there, and I would sometimes hitchhike up to Banff and skip school and ski all day and then hitchhike back again. My grandsons are now snowboarders, yeah. I never did take to it, and of course it was a thing that was really not developed that much, yeah.
Who were your neighbors in Harvey Heights, and did you have much to do with them?
Not really, no, because a lot of them were weekenders, and some of them we knew in Calgary, and quite often I would give them a hand. One fellow was from the Hudson Bay store. He was the product manager there, and he didn't know too much about construction, and he built a place just down the road from us, and I helped him a lot but no, Harvey Heights is different that way. People come and go, and it was a lot of weekenders, and sometimes there were people that actually worked in Banff that commuted back and forth to Harvey Heights because they could not really build or own a lot in Banff, and never really did associate that much with neighbors. So.
And how has that area changed between when you first moved there and today?
I guess probably there's a lot less weekenders, and there's a lot of people that have purchased, because later on after the lease thing, the lots went up for sale, and we now own the lot. And like we were talking, it's in the MD, and our taxes are paid to the MD, and that came as a result of people moving there mostly from Banff, and they had small children, and they asked that the school bus come up there, and they asked that the roads be plowed in the wintertime and so on. And so the government of Alberta said, hold the line here, we've got to move you into the municipality and pay your taxes there, look after the snow plow, look after the garbage collection, look after that type of thing, the school bus and whatever. So that's really what happened to create more permanent residents there. And incidentally, when we first started building up there, and this is 1951, there was just a mud road. There was no utilities, there was no power, and that didn't come till later on, probably about 5 years or 10 years later, when we got a paved road, we got natural gas and whatever. It went through a cycle of, I think the first thing that came was the power, and then probably 5 years later we got natural gas. And probably another 5 years later, they decided to pave the roads. And so that happened over a period of probably 10 or 15 years.